Hello, myself Dr. Sujoy Dash. As a part of this faculty induction program, I have been preparing this video. The topic of this video is public good. Now, I'm starting with the question, what is a public good? Public good refers to the goods which are having peculiar characteristics such as non-rivalry and non-excludability. Now, to understand public good, first of all, let us understand what is private good. The private good actually is having the characteristics of rivalry and excludability. Now, what is this term rivalry means? Rivalry means what? Suppose in case of private good, for example, apple. If I consume one apple, if I eat one apple, that apple is actually exhausted. I have already eaten. It is not equally available for others. Okay, that means one apple can be eaten by. If it is eaten, then that cannot be. Whatever I have eaten, that cannot be eaten by others. Okay, so that is called rivalry. Then that means this is competitive in consumptions. If one consumes, then that means others cannot consume the same. That is called rivalry assumption. So rivalry characteristics of private good. Another important characteristics that is attached with private good is excludability. Private goods are actually excludable in consumption. That means there is price mechanism. Suppose one person buys apple by paying price to it. That means whenever he buys apple, that means he has got the ownership over that good, and others cannot enjoy that good. Others do not have actually right to consume that good. That means the others peoples can be excluded in consuming that good. That is called excludability property of private good. Now let us contrast with these features with the public good. Here you will find this is a special feature, that is public goods are non-rival in characteristics and non-excludable in consumptions. Now what is non-rival? Let us take the example of street light or law and order. These are considered as examples of public good. In case of street light, what happens is street light, once it is supplied, then whoever is using that street, okay, cannot be excluded from enjoying the street light. That is the non-excludable property. And what is we also can see that this is also a non-rival, because means if a person enjoy the street light, okay, at the same time other person also can enjoy the street light. Okay, so number of persons can enjoy the street light. Okay, that means one person's consumption does not affect the availability or consumptions of other individuals. So many individuals can at a time can enjoy this kind of goods. Similarly, law and order condition, law and order. So law and order can be utilized, can be enjoyed by all people in a community or in a locality or in a country. And that is one person's enjoyment of law and order or feel of security is not obstructed by other person's law and order right. So these are examples of public good. Here we have distinguishes between public good and private good. Private goods they are rival in consumptions, and public good they are non-rival. They are excludable in consumptions. They are not. Public goods are non-excludable. So another important that I have not discussed yet, that is called no problem of free ridership is associated with private good, but in case of public good there is the problem of free ridership. Now what is free ridership means what? Whenever what is happens, free ridership means what? Suppose in case of public good, since nobody can be excludable from consumption, suppose a street light is supplied in a street. Okay, now if a person does not pay for the street light, then also he cannot be excluded, because it is already supplied. You cannot obstruct, nobody can obstruct that light, because he has the right to walk on the street, but how can he obstruct the light? So even if the person does not pay for the public good, then also he enjoys the right. So that is why the thing may comes in mind, that is crops up crop up in mind that people will try to be free riders without paying. Free rider means without paying for the public good, they will like to enjoy the public good. So for this, actually, what they do, they reveal, they do not reveal their true preference for public good. Now, optimum allocations of private good. Here, what we find that this optimum allocations of private good. See, in case of private good, you see joint demand. That is, there are two individuals we can see in the two demand curves, D1 and D2, and horizontal summations of these two demand curves is D. That is D equal to D1 plus D2, and that is supply or marginal cost or supply curve. And optimum allocations of private good takes place where demand and supply intersect. That is, OQ amount of private good will be supplied at price OP. Now, all the individuals, once the private good is supplied in the market, all the people actually have to pay price OP per unit of the good, but how much they will consume depend on their demand. Okay, say for instance, at price OP, the individual 1 will consume according to his demand pattern, okay, and individual B will consume the quantity according to his demand pattern, but both the consumers will pay the same price for the public good. That means in case of private good, the price remains same, but quantity consumed by different individuals remains different. Now, the opposite case you can see in case of public good. See, public good, the joint demand curve is obtained by vertical summations of the demand curves of two individuals, D1 and D2. And optimum allocation here is Q, okay? And the price is P, but this price is actually is paid by the two consumers, where means all the consumers actually contributes for the supply of public goods. So, okay, their joint contributions determines what will be the supply of public good. And we can see here that is OQ quantity of public good will be supplied in the market, but and this OQ quantity will be equally consumed by all the individuals. This is available for all the consumers, unlike private good, where the different individuals consumes different amount of private good. But here, in case of public good, that Q amount of public good which is supplied in the market, that will be equally available to all the consumers. Okay, whether they pay a price or not. But the thing is that the total price is here P, that is total contributions of contributions made by the consumers should be equal to that P. Okay, that means all supplying the good, that marginal cost should be equal to the contributions of made by the individuals. That is, P1 plus P2 should be equal to P. That means in case of public good, what we find, the consumers consume the same amount of good but pay different price for that. Now we can use another terminology here, market failure. Now, market failure, what is this? Market failure refers to the situations when market actually fails to allocate the efficient allocation of resources. So, in case of private good, market efficiency or Pareto efficiency requires that marginal rate of substitutions between two consumers should be equal to the price ratio, should be equal to the marginal cost ratio. That is, that says actually P is equal to price equal to marginal cost. That satisfies the Pareto efficiency conditions. But when there is public good, then the usual conditions of that is price equal to marginal cost does not satisfy Pareto efficient conditions. In case of public good, Pareto efficient allocation requires MRS1 plus MRS2 should be equal to MC. But what happens actually? That means what? The marginal utility or demand of two individuals should be equal to marginal cost. Okay, that means if the two consumers, if all the consumers reveals their true preference for public good, then only the optimum allocations of public good is possible. But what happens with a view to be a free rider. Okay, everybody try to be a free rider and would like to enjoy public good, so they would hide their true preference for public good, and because of this, summation of this MRS it becomes smaller, and this causes a less than optimal supply of public good. That is why market fails actually in providing public good, and government takes responsibility to supply this public good.